Hey there, hope everybody's doing good. It's me, Veronica, and today I'm just feeding my sourdough starter. I have a few jars going, so we'll get right into it. So, this definitely means my sourdough starter is hungry, so I'm going to dump this. And I originally started out with wheat flour, and now that my wheat flour is gone, I'm just feeding it with the regular unbleached white flour. I don't know if it's unbleached. Anyway, it's the one that's the minimum processed. So anyway, I dumped off the excess water from it sitting, and I don't really have a proper measurement, but usually a good rule of thumb is about a fourth of a cup of flour and then about a half of a cup of water. I use distilled water. I would encourage you to use anything but tap water. And the reason why I would encourage that is due to the fact that most tap resources have chlorine, and chlorine can tend to kill the yeast. So this is a tablespoon. Like I said, I don't really properly follow a measurement. I just usually start off with four of these. And it's usually gonna have kind of like a fruity smell to it. And if you're in the local northern Nevada area, I do sell it for $4, and I do ship the dried starter too. So feel free to check out my website and or just leave a comment and I will definitely get back in connection with you. So again, like I said, I don't fully measure. I'm just gonna turn the water on. And I just go by eye. I don't use any metal utensils. That's just what was recommended to me. So I usually use wood or plastic. And the consistency you want is, I guess, kind of like a little thinner than pancake mix. This is a little thicker. So it will be easy to stir and no lumps. So you want to make sure you take care of that. And I usually try to get, like, if any of it is starting to dry towards the top. And you have two ways to store. You can either use like a cheesecloth or a thin, clean dish towel with like a rubber band or something to keep it secure. You just want to make sure like fruit flies or gnats, are not getting into it. But because my schedule's a little bit crazy right now, I store mine in the fridge and I feed once a week. sometime sooner if I'm going to be doing some baking. So, some of the things I bake with this outside of lots of sourdough bread or sourdough French bread. Um, some of the family favorites are like sourdough um, biscuits made from the sourdough starter. I've even made hot dog buns. Um, I've made like the focaccia bread. So there's different things that you can use the starter for. Instead of discarding, your starter, you can use the discard in different recipes. And basically, what you're doing is you're going to replace the liquid, say like the water or the milk, with this. What are some of your favorite sourdough recipes? You can leave that down in the comments. And keeping up with sourdough starter, I think of it as kind of like a pet. You're either going to feed it daily or feed it weekly, kind of similar to when I had fish. My other pets, I guess, are my plants. So it's not something hard, but it's just amazing what a, our natural environment can do with just flour and water. And the most amazing part is the taste of your homemade baked goods and the minimum processing that you are consuming. And as we know, that is much better for you because food is medicine. What we put into our body, it does matter. So I am pretty much done here. I'm going to give some of these another stir. Sometimes you have some lumps that will gravitate towards the bottom. But again, depending on what you're making, when you mix or put in the bread maker, that will be broken down. I just usually try to get them out if I can. And I can already see the bubbles that are starting to formulate here. That means that it is alive and active. And it kind of has that kind of sweet, sort of fruity smell to it. So I will give one more round of a stir. And I don't press or affix the lids tightly on there because you are dealing with, I guess this would be a form of physics, but if it gets too powerful and too active, you don't want it to become explosive. Even in the refrigerator, that kind of slows down the fermentation. But yeah, you don't want to take it out and have it explode on you or all over your counter, all over your clothes. That would not be a fun thing. And I always keep like a damp dish towel anyway to kind of wipe down things as I go. But yeah, that is pretty much it to feeding the starter. I will give you a quick glance inside of how some of them you can see the bubbles are starting to fermilate, which means it's pretty active. This one's more active. And I have a few lumps. I may give a shake once I put the tops on. But guys, that's pretty much it. So thank you for hanging out with me, and I welcome your